Ladies and gentlemen, it's your host, MattyBigChest, and I'm a fantasy gamer, and I'm here to talk fantasy sports with you guys. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about the week one starts of the week in the flex for big games on Sunday. We're going to talk about big guys and some big games. Let's talk about the Browns at the Ravens. First up, I want to talk about Hollywood Brown against the Browns. He's going to lay some numbers on this team. I think he has big play potential. The Cleveland Browns are without a lot of players on defense. I know Mac Wilson is out. I think they're without some defensive backs. They just traded for one from the Jaguars. I'm going with Hollywood Brown in my flex if I have him. I really like his potential to get some touchdowns on some slants. And then on the Browns, my one guy is Kareem Hunt. In a PPR league, I think he has flex potential. He has shown that he can receive. He's a capable receiver out of the backfield, and he's a capable runner as well. So I think that if they use him in a 33% snap share, he's going to get good flex work against the Baltimore Ravens, who are a run-heavy team. Could be a run-heavy game. We don't know. Depends how the Cleveland offense can come out, and if as long as the Ravens and Browns can keep it close, I think we'll see plenty of Nick Chubb, but if the Ravens can jump out to a fast lead, which I think will happen, we should see more Kareem Hunt in the game. All right. Next up, I want to talk about a sneaky play, and this is the Bucs at the Saints. So Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller has great rapport with Brady from all media articles I could find. You know, he's the slot guy in there, and Mike Evans just got hurt. So I'm going to flex Scotty Miller in a redraft league. In one league, I'm going to be playing Scotty Miller. I need a wide receiver because Evans got hurt, and I had Evans, and I have Scotty Miller. So I just put Scotty Miller in because if Evans is a no-go, I'm going to start Scotty Miller. If Evans is a go, I'm going to start Evans. So kind of simple. But yeah, up next, let's talk about the Saints. And on the Saints, my sneaky play and a flex, if you need one, is Jared Cook, if he's not your starting tight end already. Jared Cook, he's a big guy. We're talking about big guys in big games, and this is a big game right here, the Bucs at the Saints. We've got Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Drew Brees likes to hit his tight ends in the red zone, so let's go and get his red zone tight end. And I think that this is going to be a surgical game where they're just going to have like 10-yard passes over and over and over and over, just down the field, out routes. And it's just going to take like 5 to 10 minutes to score a touchdown instead of these games where you score a touchdown in 3 plays or less with Patrick Mahomes, because these guys don't have the arm strength and they're going to be doing more short yard passing. So that's why I'm going with Scotty Miller and Jared Cook, because they're going to be the underneath targets. So, my next game I had is the Cardinals at 49ers. This is a really big game for Kyler Murray. He's got to show his stuff. 49ers have a stomp defense. This defense could be without linebacker Fred Warner. I believe he had COVID or some kind of injury. But make starts for this game. DeAndre Hopkins. Do not bench DeAndre Hopkins. Please do not. And then Kendrick Bourne for the 49ers. I think without Brandon Ayuk and without Deebo Samuel, they need a wide receiver to play. So who's going to be covering George Kittle? Probably linebacker Patrick Peterson, Isaiah Simmons most likely, if he's playing. And then we're going to see Kendrick Bourne playing as a wide receiver 1 on that team. So I would probably start Kendrick Bourne in a flex because he's just going to get the target share. And that is my start for the 49ers. So for the boys at Rams, this is my big game. This, I think, has potential to just blow the tops off in scoring. Both teams don't really have good defenses besides Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. And then the boys have some good pieces on their defense, but both defenses are lacking something, the Rams being linebackers and the Cowboys being defensive backs. So I think Robert Woods in that regard is going to eat. I think Malcolm Brown should be okay to play in a flex league if it's a deep like 14 teams. If you need someone, Malcolm Brown could fill in a pinch. But my big guy is Michael Gallup in this game. I love me some Michael Gallup. I think that with Amari Cooper going against Jalen Ramsey, you're going to see some Michael Gallup eating on the other side. So you're going to get a lot going to Michael Gallup. I could see 110 yards, a touchdown. And that would be a great game for Michael Gallup. And then also on the Cowboys, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard. There's not many linebackers on the Rams, right? So what does Tony Pollard do well? He manipulates the second level really well. So I think if they use him in that kind of regard with Zeke, that he could have an effective role. I don't know if they will use him. So that's the thing. This has to be a deep league that you're starting Tony Pollard in, because this is a gamble play. This is if you're missing some running backs due to injury or COVID, or you drafted nobody, so you're stuck with Tony Pollard as maybe your running back. This is a good game to start Tony Pollard. I don't hate it. I wouldn't start him in a 12-team league, but if this was 14 teams or 16 teams, I would be starting Tony Pollard. Yeah, so that's the boys at the Rams. That should be a high-scoring game. I would expect Jared Goff and Dak to have good games. Jared Goff probably going to throw some interceptions. I'd expect Dak to have over 300 yards and 3 TDs, and probably about the same for Goff, around 287 to 300, and maybe 3 touchdowns, one going to Robert Woods. My next game is Bears at Lions. This is a homer pick. I think this is a big game for fantasy because a lot of players are on fantasy teams from these rosters. Tariq Cohen, Marvin Jones, Marvin Hall, Allen Robinson, and then watch for Kenny Golladay to not play. So Allen Robinson, obvious start. Marvin Jones, obvious start if Kenny Golladay is out. Marvin Hall. If this is a 16-team, like 14-team, 16-team dynasty league and you just don't have anybody and Marvin Hall's on the waiver wire, go pick him up. This guy is fast. He has a rapport with Stafford, and he's healthy again. He did not play the remaining games of the last season because he was not healthy, but he's good for one big catch a game against the Bears. I think he had 2 so far and a TD. So I would be getting Marvin Hall in some leagues if Kenny Golladay is a no-go. I would be starting Marvin Hall if Kenny Golladay is a no-go. I will repeat that. All right. And Tariq Cohen in PPR, if David Montgomery, his groin, he injured it in practice, I would not rush him back. I would start Tariq Cohen in a PPR league. If it's a standard league and he's your flex, then fine. It's not sexy, but it is something. I really feel for David Montgomery owners because every David Montgomery in my league has usually owned Darius Geis or someone else, and it's just been hurtful. It's just been painful for them because I know that I've had some David Montgomery shares that have taken a hit as well. So I hope Tariq Cohen has a good game in that regard, and David Montgomery can rest and come back healthy. I would not be starting any Lions running backs unless you have to. It's kind of a crappy situation there. You don't know what's going to happen. This is a wait and see scenario. I am waiting and seeing who's the lead dog. Is it Adrian Peterson? Is it DeAndre Swift? I don't know. It's probably Kerryon Johnson now that I just said those 2 names and I Kerryon. So this is the state of the Lions roster. It's in flux. We don't know. Don't start him this week. It's also the Bears defense. They got Akeem Hicks back, right? They got Khalil Mack, and they got pretty good linebackers. So I won't be starting Lions running backs unless you're forced into it. I might start Kerryon Johnson over those 3 just because of past games against the Bears, and he's listed as the RB1 on the depth chart. Not looking forward to starting Kerryon Johnson over DeAndre Swift because I like DeAndre Swift a lot, but that's the state my rosters are in. I hope this was informative to you guys. I know this is a little bit of a ramble. I look forward to making a video to follow up on these starts and sits on Monday to talk about if I hit on any of them, if I completely flubbed on some of them. I hope you guys follow this advice or find it helpful as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. I give start and sit advice in our Patreon group chat, www.patreon.com/dynastywarzone. It is a group chat where we do start sits, we do trade advice, we talk about everyday life. It's a great group of guys where you can go hang out and be dudes. It's just some dudes being dudes. What's better than that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.